Hello YouTube, this is Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales, and welcome to the very first episode of a brand new series on my channel. This is T&O, which stands for Thoughts and Opinions. Now I say this is the first episode, but if you're a subscriber of mine, then you would have seen a few weeks ago a couple of Thoughts and Opinions videos going up on my channel. One of them was to do with the Empire of Sands DLC for Total War Tiller, and one of them was to do with Total War Warhammer, the Dwarves faction. But I'm not counting them as part of this series. That's because I wanted to start fresh with a brand new series and kind of an idea that I've had for the past couple of days or so. So you would have seen a cool little intro at the start of this video. You'd obviously click the video and you'll see a little bit of a title. So what will happen with these series is they're basically vlogs. They have me giving my opinion on certain things in gaming, in movies, in general. Basically, it can be to do with absolutely anything. It's something I think is probably one of my strengths as a YouTuber, giving my opinion. I'm quite an opinionated person. So today's episode, we're going to actually talk about Pro Evolution Soccer 2016. Now, Pro Evolution Soccer is a game I have a very much a love-hate relationship with. I started playing PES back in the ISS days. Now, for those of you that don't know what ISS is, it actually stands for International Superstar Soccer, and it was a series on the PlayStation, the very first PlayStation, and it was fantastic. It only had international teams. I think you only had like 16 teams you could pick. Some of them had fake names, but it was very good, very entertaining, and at the time I felt like the gameplay was much better than FIFA. Of course, FIFA has a very long history. It's been going since like the mid-90s or early 90s, so they've both have always been competing with each other. Now, FIFA, of course, is EA and PES is Konami. And eventually, this ISS game, it was actually called ISS Pro Evolution, and it broke off into two separate games. You had ISS, who went on their own. They had a couple of games on the PS2. And then you had PES, which is Pro Evolution Soccer. Back then, it was just called PES, PES 1, PES 2, PES 3. Eventually, then in 2008, it got renamed and it became PES 2008. So we've had the years, and the current game and the game I'm going to talk about today is PES 2016. And like I said, I've been playing this game for years. I was playing it back in the PlayStation 2 days when I'd create my own badges and I'd follow kind of online how can I put it, tutorials where you'd look at the pixels and you had like a 280 square pixel and you put like a red square, a blue square, a white square, and you end up creating the badges. You could recreate like the Cardiff badge or the Liverpool badge or the Sunderland badge, etc. And that was the sort of thing that I was doing. I really enjoyed it. As you know, I do like artwork and doing some thumbnails and editing things, and this is something which I liked. It combined my passion of doing option files and editing and stuff with my love of football, and I enjoyed the game series a lot. It jumped then from PS2 to PS3, and the PS3 version wasn't as good initially anyway. The 2008 was a terrible game. You could only have 4 kind of kits. So you could, for what I mean by that is, if you wanted to bring in like the Premier League, there's 20 Premier League teams. 2 of them had licenses that year. I believe it was Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle. So you had 18 kits to do, but you could only scan 4 teams. So you could have Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Chelsea, and then anybody else in the league you just had to miss out on. So you wouldn't have West Ham, you wouldn't have Sunderland, and it was quite disappointing in my opinion. But PES then did PES 2010, 11, 12, 13, and they were all pretty good games. They all improved just a little bit more each time, and the game got up to a very good standard again. Then the dreaded game happened, PES 2014. Absolutely terrible. It was a shameful game. I bought it, played it, tried to play it, shall I say, for a few days, I had it for a week. After the week, I sold the game on eBay, got most of my money back because the game was just terrible in my opinion. It was like Rome 2 when that was first released. It was barely playable, missing key features, and things just weren't that good. So that was PES 2014. PES 2015 was, from what I read about, a much better game. I didn't actually play it. I gave a year away from PES. I played FIFA for a year basically, and that was good as well, but I'll do a separate FIFA related video anyway. And then this year, PES 2016, I bought it on Steam. It's the PC version, and this is my thoughts and opinions, which you obviously want to find out because you just clicked on the video. It's very good. There are things which I really enjoy about this game. Graphically, it looks great, not perfect. It looks great, but not perfect. I say that because it's had a slight downgrade from the console version. They've put a lot of effort into the console versions this year. So the PlayStation 4 version is fantastic from what I've seen and read about. I'm quite gutted I didn't buy the PS4 version actually. In some ways, as a YouTuber, it's easier for me to have the PC version, but as a kind of somebody who wants to enjoy the game, I think I would have enjoyed it more on PS4. PS4 is optimized with the kits, so you can download Glenn the Magpie's or PES World's option files. It takes like 5 minutes to download it, stick it on a USB pen, stick the USB pen into the console, and just click select all and apply, and you've got all the kits. So licenses doesn't matter. You've got the Premier League, you've got the Championship, you've got the Bundesliga, you've got all this stuff there. But with the PC version, it's not optimized that well. So you'll download the kits, and what will happen is that it doesn't apply, or there'll be some kind of conflict with the file. And I've read a lot of stuff online about the PC kind of version on the Steam forums and stuff, and yeah, everybody's saying the same thing. It's not optimized very well. It's quite hard to edit kits, and the worst thing which I've come across as far as the editing side of the game goes is actually that it's not well, how can I put it? It's not, the graphical quality is very low. So you're only allowed, I think it's 1240 pixels. That's the maximum for a badge. So if you're kind of using a badge that's got a higher pixel rating, higher quality image, whatever, it just gets downgraded, so it looks very, very faded. Every single badge that I've put in the game so far just doesn't come out very well. So the Arsenal badge looks terrible. You can barely see it. It's just very, you know what I mean? It's just not there. It's just very blurred out. It doesn't look very good at all, and it's a bit of a problem. Then you look at sort of the gameplay. The gameplay is very good. I mean, the gameplay, pretty solid stuff. Loads of competitions there. You've got the Champions League license, which is always a good thing if you like European football. You've got the Copa Libertadores, which is the South American kind of equivalent. You've got the Asian Champions League on there, which is great if you want to play in that as well. You've got sort of all the leagues you can play in. You've got Master League and Become a Legend. Master League's improved from where I remember anyway. It's definitely improved. And I used to love Master League. That was the bread and butter of Pro Evolution Soccer. Master League, for those of you who don't know what that is, you select a team or you create your own team. Usually you'd start with the default players. The default players have become kind of cult kind of heroes in the PES world, basically, like Castolo and Ivarov. They are players I remember from years back when I was playing PES. And you would start off with these default players, and they'd have terrible ratings. They'd have like a 48%. They'd have like 48 out of 100, 57 out of 100, those kind of ratings, overall ratings. And you would have to try and craft and build your own team. Buy players in the transfer window, sell players, try and get that promotion from Division 2 to Division 1. I can remember I had the classic players on like PES 2004 or 5. I had a Fulham team with all the defaults. I ended up winning the Champions League against Bayern Munich, like 3-2, on like superstar difficulty, or no, I think it was superstar. It might have been a lower difficulty than that. It's like professional. I can remember jumping around the room. I was going insane. I had like George Best, and I had Jose Luis Chilavert, who was a very good Paraguayan goalkeeper. I had Fernando Hierro. I had Pablo Maldini. I had Franco Baresi. I had Zico and Zidane in midfield. I had Maradona, Johan Cruyff. It was insane. I had all these world-class players in the team. I built that team up. I had like 5 seasons, and that was over the course of 5 seasons. It was a fantastic team. And that's what I love about Master League. And Master League, it's not even, it doesn't feel like it's quite there yet, but it's on the way there. Now, Become a Legend has gone backwards, unfortunately, in my opinion, from what I remember. You can't even select your squad number. So when you transfer to a team, your squad number stays the same. I don't like that. That's terrible. So if I want to be number 17, because 17 is my favourite number, I can't be number 17, and that's a big problem for me. If I'm stuck with number 13, then I'm stuck with it, and it's, some people won't mind. It's like, oh well, you get what you're given, but you should have some sort of selection. It should at least be something whereby you can select any number that a player doesn't currently have. So if you've just been transferred to Liverpool, You can have number 8 because no one has number 8. You can have number 12 because no one has number 12. That sort of thing. But no, you just give them whatever you're given, and I don't like that. Gameplay wise, you know, it's PES, it's BAL, Become a Legend. It's the same kind of thing as the previous few versions of the game. You create your player, or you pick a player from an existing team, and you just play throughout their career. You try to get called up for your country. You try to win the Champions League, you try to win the league, you get transferred. It's the same sort of thing. Not much has changed there. The other thing I want to talk about is online. Now, online is what I've enjoyed the most so far. It's all the videos I've done on PES so far have all been online. My club is fantastic. It is basically PES's Ultimate Team equivalent to what FIFA have with Ultimate Team, and it's great. You start off with default kind of players, a weak team, but you get sort of pack openings that you have to do. You accumulate points by beating certain teams. If you search for an online player and you go for a high ranking player, somebody who's won lots of games, and beat him, you'll get like 20, 30, 40,000 points from him. Those points, or GP points, you can put towards buying packs. A pack costs like 10,000 GP points. A pretty standard kind of pack where you can get gold balls and black balls. If you get a black ball, then the player that you get in the black ball will be a top player. So it'll be a Robin van Persie, it will be a Luis Suarez, a Lionel Messi. A gold ball will be a kind of mid-tier kind of player. It'll be somebody who will be like an Ashley Williams, someone who's a pretty solid, good player in the game, but perhaps not the best. And that's what you kind of get with these balls. It's a very good mode. I think I'm something like 50-50. I've won by half of them, lost by half of them. I really get into it as well. I'm quite enthusiastic, and I do get quite excited by it. So overall, I mean, Pro Evolution Soccer is definitely on the way up, in my opinion. The PC version, though, like I said, I'm disappointed by it a little bit. There are things that could have been done better. I feel like after playing FIFA on PC and PES on PC, I do feel like FIFA has, certainly in the offline modes, certainly has an edge to it, and I'd have to give my vote of confidence to FIFA in that regard. But overall, I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm glad I bought it. I'm really enjoying playing it. Like I said, my club is fantastic. I think it's become the best mode on PES, and I think for a long time PES needed something to compete with FIFA. I know my club was in the game last year, but they've developed and obviously improved it this year, and it's become a much better game mode to be involved in. And yeah, I mean, if you want to buy PES, I would recommend it. But like I said, perhaps avoid the PC version, perhaps go for the Xbox One or the PS4. And actually I would recommend the PS4, because at least with the PS4 you can easily get all the kits, stick it in a USB pen, and bada bing, you've got the leagues you want to play in, you've got all the stuff you need to have a full enjoyable experience. But I think that pretty much wraps up for this video. So I've probably touched the surface, to be honest with you. I've gone a little bit of depth and given a little bit of history and backstory to my love affair with Pro Evolution Soccer, with PES. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you play PES? Have you played PES before? What do you think of this year's PES? And have you played FIFA? And what do you think are the good things and the bad things about both games? Let me know in the comments section below. As far as this series goes, just before I sign off, I'll probably try and do these once a week. I don't really have a schedule at the moment, but I may have one depending on when I slot things in over the next week or two. But like I said, once a week is what I'll do. It'll be on any random thing. If you want to leave a suggestion for topics I can discuss, leave that in the comments section below. It could be about anything. It could be about football, gaming, controversial subjects perhaps that are not gaming related or are gaming related. It can be literally anything that you want to bring to me. It could be about Warhammer, Total War, other YouTubers. Maybe we get a bit controversial, if you know what I mean. But up to you, totally up to you. Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, I'm rambling on for too long now, and it's been like 14 minutes, so I think that's probably a good time to end it. Before I end it, leave a like for the beard. The more likes I get, the more hair I get on my face. That was super corny. Oh my god, just I'll leave that bit in, don't worry about it. Anyway, I've been Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye. Fuck, I just winked twice.